Hi, this is Mr. Ward, and this is your Pre-Algebra Do Now 26.2, Week 26, Day 2 video key. And here we have just 2 questions. A reminder that you have 10 minutes for Do Now at the beginning of class. So we've got 2 times 10 to the 7th to the 4th, times 3 times 10 to the 9th to the 2nd, all over 2 times 10 to the 5th to the 3rd, times 8 times 10 to the 3rd to the 5th. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to group my coefficients, and then I'm going to group my powers. So when I group my coefficients, I see I have a 2 up here, and that's to the 4th power. Then I also have a 3, and that is raised to the 2nd power. So I got to deal with that. And then I'm going to have in the denominator for my coefficients 2. Ooh, that's sus. 2 to the 3rd, and then 8 to the 5th. Okay, and I've already got some ideas about how I can simplify that. Over here, I'm going to set up my powers. I've got 10 to the, well, it's 7 times 4. Okay, and then I've got 10 to the 9 times 2. And that's all over 10 to the negative 5. I'll put that in parentheses just to keep it organized. To the negative 5 times 3. That's also to the 3rd power. Times 10 to the 3 times 5. I'm going to go ahead and put a little asterisk indicating multiplication there too. All right, let's deal with the coefficients first. So I look here and I've got a 2 here and I've got a 2 here. That's 2. I'm going to deal with that first. 2 to the 4 minus 3. That's going to make some things a lot easier. Okay, that'll count. This 2 to the 3rd factors out from the 2 to the 4th, and that's just going to leave us with a 2. I'll deal with that in a second. And I've got 3 to the 2nd, and all of this is still over 8 to the 5th. I just want to remind you what I just did was I took this, since I noticed I had 2 as a base in the denominator and the numerator, I combined that right there. So now I've got 2 to the 4 minus 3 times 3 to the 2nd. I'm going to keep going on this. So that's going to be 2 to the 1st, which is just 2, and then times 9. Okay, and that's all going to be over 8 to the 5th, whatever the heck that is. That's a big number. So let's just sort that out. That's going to be an 18. And at this point, I'm going to make use of calculators. Put that in parentheses just to make sure that's clear. So at 18 over 8 to the 5th. So I predict this is going to be a pretty tiny decimal. And indeed it is, 0.000549. So I'm going to round that at the 9, 0.00. Actually, I'm going to round it at the 4, so it's going to be 55. 0.00055. You may choose to round it at a different place. Okay, so that's 0.00055 rounded. Okay, now let's go up and deal with the powers. Okay, so that's 10 to the 7 times 4. That's 9 times 2. So let's just copy pasta this whole thing. So I have to type it all over. And I'm going to fix the 7 times 4 is going to become a 28. 9 times 2 will become an 18. Negative 5 times 3 is going to become a negative 15. And 3 times 5 will be a 15. Okay, now I'm going to copy pasta that into the next row. Okay, this is going to become 10 to the 28 plus 18. And this is going to become 10 to the 15, negative 15 plus 15, which is just going to be 0. So I'll do that in the next row. So up here is going to become 10 to the 46. 28 plus 18 is 46. And this is going to be 10 to the 0. So I'm not even going to care about that because that's just 1. So 10 to the 46 divided by 1 will be that. So I'm going to leave that there because I may copy pasta this for someone when we're going over things. All right, let me continue here. So that's going to end up being just 10 to the 46th. And over here, I've still got my 0.0055. Let's move that over. And now I need to move my decimal. I need to move it 1, 2, 3, 4 places. I have to make this 10,000 times bigger, 10 to the 4th times bigger, so 5.5. That became 10 to the 4th times bigger, so 10 to the 46 has to become 10 to the 4th times smaller, so that's 10 to the 46 minus 4, which is going to be 10 to the 42. I'll go ahead and leave that there. So 5.5 times 10 to the 42nd power. And there you're done. All right, let's take a look at this one. Oh boy, Mr. Wordy threw in fractions as exponents, but it's the same rules. Same rules apply. I've got A's and I've got B's. A is to the 3/4, A is to the 1/2 to the negative 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to group my A's and I'm going to group my B's. So my numerator is to the 3/4 there. And that's going to be, I'm going to subtract 1/2 times negative 1/2. We'll deal with that in a second. I'm going to set up the other one. That's B to the 5/6. And I'm going to be subtracting, because this is division, subtracting 1/3 times negative 1/2. Okay, let's start sorting this out. So that's A to the 3/4. And 1/2 times 1/2, negative 1/2, is going to be negative 1/4. So that's going to be minus negative 1/4. And I'll keep going. That'll be A to the 3/4 plus 1/4, which is going to be A to the 4/4, or A to the 1st. It's just A. Okay, now let's take care of the B stuff. Okay, let's see if there be a problem here. So B to the 5/6, and that's going to be minus 1/3 times negative 1/2, which is going to be negative 1/6. Now, that's going to be B to the 5/6. Well, minus negative 1/6 is plus 1/6. And so that becomes B to the 6/6, which is B to the 1st, which is just B. So my answer is AB, and I'm done.